Hey y'all, today I'm going to be reviewing custom lipsticks from the brand Ferdinand. I purchased the lipsticks myself. This is a self-sponsored review. I'm trying all three of the formulas and a variety of different scents, and there will probably also be some good color theory or some discussions of color in this video because, of course, I picked the colors. That's what makes them custom lipsticks. If this is your first time to my channel, hello, I'm Hannah. I'm so glad you're here. I love beautiful things, and so I have this beauty channel, but I try not to promote overspending here. I try to make mindful content. And if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So as stated in the introduction, this is a completely unsponsored review. The brand has never contacted me about anything. And what's more, this is a situation where Buffalo Beauty Boy made me buy it, or Buffalo Beauty Boy made me want to review it. My friend Ted, who goes by Buffalo Beauty Boy on Instagram, has a YouTube channel and recently posted a video in which he tried for the first time on camera his own custom lipstick from Ferdinand. And I was totally captivated by the idea. So I clicked through and checked it out. And I was also interested because I've never really heard of them before. Like, I haven't seen anyone doing this on YouTube. I haven't seen people reviewing it. And so then I was like, I want to do it. I want to make a review of this. And it's interesting not just because it's like a review of I mean, of course I enjoy reviewing formulas and stuff, but the thing that I'm really interested to know is what the colors that I conceived of and saw on my screen and decided to make lipsticks of, what they translate to. Like, what's the difference between what we think a color is going to look like when we're just thinking of it in isolation, and how it actually translates to makeup, and how that makeup translates to the face. And because I haven't bought anything for a review in a long time, I've been saving my channel budget up over the course of a couple of months, simply because nothing has spoken to me. But that meant that I was able to kind of go in, and I created 4 lipsticks. And here's the thing, here they are. This is the little envelope that they came in. I've looked at them with my eyes, but I haven't swatched them and I haven't tried them on. I'm gonna do that on camera because I really do feel like the thing that I wanted to review with this company was the experience of like creating the colors and then the experience of finding out what the color that you thought you wanted actually looks like. And actually just from looking at them, I feel like I just said actually 100 times in a row. I strongly suspect that I've kind of messed it up. Like, I think that there are a couple, if not 3 out of 4 based on just looking, that are pretty much unwearable. Like, I didn't know whereof I spoke, you know what I mean, when I was like creating the color and when I was asking for a lipstick in that color. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. First, let me talk you through I'm like opening this as I tell you, but first let me talk you through the 4 colors. And so you can kind of get on board with what I thought that I was making. So disorganized, best beauty guru ever. Yeah. Okay, so when you go on the Ferdinand website, you can choose to mix your color from like a grid of, 20 different colors that they have. You can put in like a basic pink, and then you can like add yellow to it, and then you can add white to it to make it lighter, add black to it to make it darker. Like, you can do the sort of basic mixing, but you can also go to the color wheel and just drag the little dot around and literally choose any color, like any color that exists, any color on the spectrum at all. And that was what I did. You better believe that's what I did. And my idea, and I think the reason that I felt like this would be a good thing for me to review, my idea was that I was gonna try to create these lipsticks that I always dream of but never see. And to me, that's epitomized by the search for a chocolatey or grungy, like even gray leaning nude that is very, very pale, because I feel like I'm so much paler than like the mid-range, and there are a lot of foundation ranges that don't, almost all foundation ranges don't go light enough for me, and concealer ranges. So across the board, all of the hundreds of makeup brands that exist, only a very few of them are thinking of my level of paleness when they create their makeup. I feel like I'm considered sort of fringe. I'm like a fringe complexion. And that's evidenced by the fact that I can rarely find a foundation or a concealer that is a good match for me. So I think about it when it comes to concealer because it's very obvious, or foundation. If it's too dark for me, it's too dark for me and I can't wear it. But then when it comes to lip products, I think the same thing is going on. I think that the lightest lip colors in a lot of ranges, the lightest nude, the lightest brown, the lightest pink, isn't actually calibrated for someone as light as me. It's like a light nude or a light pink for someone who's on the light end of middling in terms of complexion. That's like the lightest that lips tend to go. So I often look at ranges of lipsticks and I'm like, well, I wish that these 3 lighter colors, the lightest ones, I wish that they had that exact same tone, but just lighter. So that's what I was trying to do. I went to this little wheel, draggy your little dot around the wheel thing on the Finding Ferdinand website, and I created these lipsticks that were brown, nude, really like grungy pale gray, but then I just made them lighter than the ones that I ever see on the market. So the first one is, I feel like it was the first one I made, so it was the one that I had most the desire to create. It is like a grungy beige leaning nude, and it's very pale. So I'll put up on the screen the screenshot of the swatch that I took when I was dragging the thing around, and then I got the color that I wanted. I took a screenshot of the swatch on my computer and I blew it up really big so that I could really see what I thought the color was going to look like. And I named it Sooty Peony. So here's the swatch. This is the first one I made, Sooty Peony. To me, it's like the perfect grungy beige or grayish, but just pale. Very pale, because I want it to actually look like a light lipstick on me. I find what happens when I'm buying lipsticks off the rack, when they're not custom, like this one is. When they're not custom, I'll find a color like this and it'll look vampy on me because it'll just be very dark compared to my complexion. So that was the first one. Then I decided I wanted to make one that is a similar idea, but just more brown. I wanted something kind of like Gone Greige, which is one of my all-time favorite lipsticks. This is it right here. It's a Maybelline Bold. I wanted something like Gone Greige, but without that slightly mauve undertone that Gone Greige has. So I created this one. It's more of like a mushroomy version of Gone Greige, and it's not quite as light as Sooty Peony. I named it Baby Bella. So I'll put that up on the screen, and here's Gone Greige just for comparison. So hopefully you'll be able to see that Gone Greige here is probably similar depth, but it's just got kind of more mauve in it, a little more pink, a little more purple. And Baby Bella, I feel like it almost is leaning a little bit green, especially by comparison, but that is what I wanted. I wanted something much like Gone Greige, but maybe a little bit lighter and a little bit less natural. So those are like the first 2 that I wanted to make. And then I got those out of the way and I was like, let's play. So I decided to think more of like, what's a lip color that I feel like I've never been able to find that I've wanted. And what I thought of was something kind of similar to Beige Babe. Beige Babe is like the palest, nudiest, like twiggy nude. Remember years ago when I was looking for the perfect twiggy nude or the perfect porn star nude, and I settled on Beige Babe, and it's been serving that purpose in my collection this entire time. But at the end of the day, it's kind of pink and it's kind of dark for me. You know what I mean? It's the twiggy nude for, again, I think a more mid-toned complexion. It doesn't really have that totally washed out, kind of creepy pale look on me. So I decided to make a grungy twiggy nude, something less pink than Beige Babe, and to make it lighter. So I did it. I called it Grungy Twiggy. When I created it, I felt like this was probably the one running the worst risk of being totally unwearable, like being like incredibly pale and just looking like swatching like a light gray. But I decided to go for it anyway, because I feel like in the abstract, in theory, looking at this swatch, it is the color that I've been looking for all of these years. And here it is compared to Beige Babe. There's Beige Babe, although it's probably washed out because I'm holding it close to the lights. There's a swatch of it. So you can see that Grungy Twiggy in the swatch is lighter and paler. And fourth, I decided to make something, here's a color I've been really, really loving. Mink from Revlon. So I really like this mid-tone. It's got a little bit of a wine in it, but it really is a brown. You know what I mean? This beautiful mink. It's one of my favorite lipsticks that I have right now. I mean, I've been wearing this a ton. I really, really love it. But I tend to shy away from reaching for it all the time because it's so opaque and satiny. I decided to make something like this, but a little bit lighter, and I decided to do it in the sheer formula from Finding Ferdinand with the hopes that it would be something that I could kind of slather on more easily. A grungy, winey brown, but less difficult to wear in terms of shade and also less difficult to wear in terms of opacity. So that's the fourth one I made. I'll put up the swatch right now, and I called it Redwood Construction. I really, really love this balance between brown and kind of a wine, and I like how it's just a little bit paler than the things that you usually see like that. So those are the 4 lipsticks that I made: Sooty Peony, Baby Bella, Grungy Twiggy, and Redwood Construction. And of course, what you're seeing on the screen is influenced not only by my screenshots from my computer and the way they translate through my stuff, but also through your screen and the color balance on your screen. It's really, really hard to communicate color across screens, across distances, you know what I mean? And it's hard to communicate the way that a cream lipstick is gonna look in a swatch on the screen. I hoped that Sooty Peony, Baby Bella, and Redwood Construction would be very wearable for me, and that Sooty Peony would maybe be kind of like Beige Babe in terms of depth. I mean, it does. I had these lipsticks out when I was doing this, and I was swatching them and kind of comparing them to what I was seeing. And Sooty Peony does look just a bit lighter than Beige Babe. But when I opened the lipsticks and looked at them, I saw that I think it's actually much lighter. Like, I think it's like a trick of the eye or a trick of the light or whatever, but I think that this one is just like almost unwearably light. And I think that Grungy Twiggy is probably like insanely unwearably light. Like, just based on me looking at them, I think 2 out of 4 is probably haven't worked out. And so I'm gonna go through and like swatch them and try them on, and we'll see. But already just having glanced at them, it's making me think interesting things about the way that color actually looks and like what we think we want out of makeup versus what we actually do wear. And I just love thinking about that kind of thing. Given that these were custom, the turnaround time was incredibly fast. I mean, it was insanely fast. I think it was just a couple of days before they shipped, and then they were here in a couple of days, and they're made in New York, and it was right around Christmas. I mean, I think I might have even ordered them on like Christmas Day or something. Like, it was just it was bananas. And in the meantime, as they were being produced, I got an email from customer service, again, not because I'm an influencer, they didn't know, but I got an email that was like, "We're so excited you placed this order. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you." And I mean, all around, it was just, the customer service has blown me out of the water. Like, everything was seamless. And I just feel like a project like this, where you're allowing people to mix their own custom colors and you know, you're producing these lipsticks, there are so many ways in which it could go wrong. And it seems like they were very careful to make sure everything would run smoothly. And I appreciate that. So the lipsticks came two to each one of these little ornaments. And I think that this is just because it's the holiday season, and so they're doing this right now. I don't think that they always come like this, but you can tell that they've taken care with their decisions about packaging and everything. And they're, you know, it's nice. It's nice that it doesn't feel chintzy. It's nice that they haven't sacrificed a sense of luxury in the packaging for the fact that it's custom. Okay, here we go. So they came in these little Ziplocs inside of those ornaments. All 4 of the bullets look the same, but they do have options to get bullets that are like hand painted on the outside. I just went for the standard bullets. And my little names are on stickers on the ends. The bullets are nice. They have these little things that you push. You push it, and then it pulls out, and then you push it back in and it locks back in. So let's go in the order that I told you about them. So here's Sooty Peony, which was the first one. And look how pale it is in person. I mean, look, I'm gonna put the swatch up and it's like, here's the thing. I have the swatch pulled up on my computer screen right here. And when I hold the lipstick up to it, yeah, it is the same color. Like you can't deny that this is the color that I ordered. This is the color that I wanted. It's just when it was filling my screen, it seemed so much deeper and more robust and so much more like something that would work as a lipstick. And now that it's here, it's like really pale. And maybe it'll still look good on me. Maybe it'll still be what I wanted. It's just so interesting, right? The difference between like the depth and the statement that I felt like it was gonna make, and then the reality, which is that it's so pale. So this is the satin formula, I believe. They have a matte, a satin, and a sheer. This is the satin formula, and I got it in the rose scent, and you can already tell that the rose scent is good. So I'm gonna open the other ones and just show them to you, and then I'll go through and swatch them all. So the second one, Baby Bella, actually looks amazing. This is, I think, also the satin formula, and this is definitely the vanilla scent. This is the one that I thought that I might end up liking the best, so I picked the scent that I thought I might end up liking the best, which is vanilla. So there's Sooty Peony on top and Baby Bella underneath. Grungy Twiggy. It's like a light gray. It's like I mean, come on. Like that is not gonna look good. And this one, this is the matte formula. I got the matte formula in this, and it is unscented. I went with unscented. And I think if anything, this will be an interesting mix in. Like it'll be interesting to mix this with Beige Babe, but I don't know if I'll be wearing this on its own. It looks like a pale purple gray. And here's Redwood Construction, the sheer, the last one. I got this in the coconut scent, and it smells pretty good. It definitely looks much darker in the bullet than it looks in the swatch, but because it's a sheer, I bet it'll swatch differently. There they are in order. Sooty Peony, Baby Bella, Grungy Twiggy, and Redwood Construction. Okay, let's swatch them. Sooty Peony, it's actually swatching. Okay, I actually have hope. It might be that the beige is too light on my quite pigmented lips, and it might be that I don't get coverage, but I'm gonna go ahead. I wanna try it on. I'm gonna go ahead and try it on. Where's my mirror? Okay, actually, I kind of love it. I mean, I know that this beige of a lip isn't really the style right now. Like this isn't really that in, but what I've been trying to tell you is that I haven't been able to get this look ever with what I've bought that's on the market. Like Beige Babe, Maybelline Beige Babe was the closest that I could get to something looking like Maybelline Beige Babe looks like this on other people. And it was the look that I was trying to get, and I could never get it. And I was always mixing my MAC chromographic pencil in with other lip colors to get them to be this pale. This is actually perfect. It's like my perfect, slightly grungy, actually neutral, very pale color. Like almost like this is like the Grungy Twiggy, right? I'm actually delighted. I can't believe it, because I went from being really obsessed with the way that the swatch looked like on my, the way that it looked like. What am I talking about? I was really obsessed with the way the swatch looked. I was like, this is gonna be perfect. And then when I got the lipstick and I opened it, I was like, oh no, it's just gonna be paste. And then I put it on and it's like perfect. And I think that part of why it's good is that the formula is not really super thick, like coating my lips. I mean, it has pigment, the pigment is there, but the formula has kind of melted into my lips. It feels like it's nourishing my lips. It doesn't feel like a liquid lipstick where you're just like sticking a layer on top. And it's a little bit, the formula is more wearable than I was expecting, because it's not like it's a sheer or something. I mean, clearly it's not. If it were, the pigment on my lips would be coming through and it would look kind of weird. But it's thin enough, like it's slick enough to be much more wearable than I was expecting. And I think that that's another thing making the color work. I am gagged. I love it so much. This is what it's gonna be like for the next month up here on my channel. I'm gonna be like, my name is Hannah and my lips don't exist. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I thought I was gonna be disappointed by everything. I was worried, and now I feel like even if I don't like any of the other three, I'm going to be really excited that I have this. Oh, I like the scent. I like the rose scent. It's pretty strong. If you don't like the scent of roses, then and like this sort of taste, then don't use this flavoring, because it's definitely very like real rose, like crushed rose petals on the tongue. All right, let's swatch Baby Bella. Once again, I feel like the formula, the satin formula, is really giving me hope for its wearability. This is swatching almost more like a slick, like maybe more like the L'Oreal Color Re-Shine, although obviously not as slippery and shiny, not as glossy. But in terms of the amount of pigment per swipe, it's swatching more like something like that, like a wearable semi-sheer, than like a super full pigment satin lipstick like the ones from Bite Beauty, for example. All right, here we go with Baby Bella. Sorry, I'm so excited, and I'm also relieved because I didn't want to be like, I'm trying this cool thing where you make your own lipstick and it's like a cool independent brand, it's woman owned and stuff, and then to get on here and be like, I did a terrible job in all four of the lists. Like, I was worried that that was what's gonna happen. I was gonna be like, oh, I miscalculated, all the colors are horrible. But I am so delighted by this. It's like Maybelline Gone Greige. Yeah, it's like a Maybelline Gone Greige, but designed for me specifically. So again, lighter, a little bit more neutral, a little bit less mauve, but it's very much that. It's very Gone Greige. It's just, I feel like it's a Gone Greige that's just been tweaked and tailored for me. And again, the formula, I love the formula. What I feel like is it's coloring my lips, but without putting like a really thick layer of something on them. The thing that it really reminds me of is the Bobbi Brown crushed lip colors. I just feel like it feels natural and skin-like, and it's going to wear well. And again, this is the same formula as the first one. And the vanilla is nice. It's lighter. It's totally inoffensive. I think I might have liked the rose better. There was something about that really crushed rose petal rose that was really appealing to me. But I feel like we're 2 out of 2 for color. This is yet again like my dream version of a certain kind of shade of lipstick. So just for comparison, I'm gonna swatch Beige Babe, which was formerly my like lightest nude lipstick. I'm gonna swatch it underneath Sooty Peony, and you can see how incredibly like look at what a basic Beige Babe looks like next to the one that I created. It just looks like a plain flat pink lipstick. And then here's Gone Greige swatched underneath Baby Bella. And so yeah, you can see how much darker it is. Like, look how much darker that is. If you were over there thinking that this looked like Gone Greige on me, then you can see that it's not at all the same thing, right? The one that I created is much more pale, and it's also much more brown. More of a chocolate brown and less of like a mauve, slightly purpley brown. Sorry, I'm so excited because I'm really excited to be able to wear these. I feel like a lot of times what happens to me is that I'll be putting a look together and I'll put on like a really elaborate eye or a really strong cheek, and then it'll be time for the lips and I'll want to wear a lipstick and I'll want to wear something like this, like a pale grungy color. And then every lipstick I have is too statement on me because they're all too dark. And now I feel like I'll be able to finish strong eye looks with these 2 lip colors and still get the shade that I want on the lip without the lip competing in terms of how much it registers. I'm wearing very little makeup on the rest of my face right now. I don't have any eye makeup on. You can probably see it, but my little eyelid is getting like a dry patch on it right there, and makeup doesn't apply very well over it, so I just left it off today. And then my cheeks, I'm just wearing a little bit of the e.l.f. Active. I wanted to keep it super neutral so that the rest of my face wouldn't be competing too much with the color of the lip color. But I just feel like it would be tough for me to wear gone grayish without very much other makeup. Sometimes I've done it, but I always blot it way down. It's just this kind of thing, like this kind of grungy brown, to wear it without an eye look to balance it out is a little bit of a tough sell. But at this level of paleness, at this like lightness, I can do it. I could like wear this as like an everyday lipstick without other makeup on my face. And I love that. I might be about to be knocked down a peg with Grungy Twiggy. It's really gray and really pale, and it's also the matte formula, so it might be different in that way too. You can't see the swatch, right? You can barely see it. That's it right there. It's really, really, really pale. And the matte, it doesn't feel chalky at all. It actually feels like a nice matte. All right, let's go ahead and apply it. Let's just say it's a bit avant-garde, right? A bit avant-garde at best. Okay, so color-wise, this is a total fail, I feel. I think that my Sooty Peony is also kind of like my Grungy Twiggy. Like that was like my ideal, actually super pale nude. I mean, this is very grungy. It's just that an authentically grungy, authentically twiggy lip isn't looking as much like something I want to wear as I kind of thought that it would be. So yeah, I can't see myself wearing this on its own, but there's a good chance it'll be the perfect mix-in for me. It'll make other lip colors more wearable for me and less vampy for me. The formula is great. I mean, it's not that different from the other ones. Like this isn't as different as I was expecting a matte formula to be compared to the satin. It is thin like they are. I mean, and so it goes on nice and slick. It really does feel like it's coloring my lips instead of painting a layer on top of them. Yeah, no complaints about the formula. I'm very impressed. Okay, the last one, Redwood Construction. This is the sheer. Oh yeah, I'm excited about this. And yeah, it is looking lighter and definitely more pale and kind of more brown in the swatch. I'm sure that this is one where the bullet looks a little bit different than the application because of the formula. I think it's mixed a little bit with, I mean, not that this looks bad. This is amazing. This is like the perfect My Lips, but better. But I think that there was a little bit of Grungy Twiggy left on my lips, and I think it might have mixed with that. So I'm gonna wipe it off and apply it one more time just to get a really, really true lip swatch. So yeah, this is excellent for me as a tool. It really looks like the color of my lips, but it's like pushing, but it's moisturizing, you know, so it'll be nice to apply. And it's pushing the natural color of my lips just a little bit more in the dark, or in the, not dark, but like the brown, like a little bit more in the neutral direction, which is what I like to do. This is like what I imagine if I were to get a second shade of the Gucci Lip Voile and I were to get it in a more neutral color, or a brown color. This is what I imagine. This is the effect I imagine. And I actually would bet that I'm gonna wear this a lot because again, I can finish a look with it and it gives my lips some structure and some presence on the face, but without competing too much with whatever else I have going on, even if what else I have going on isn't all that much. The coconut is nice. I would say it smells like coconut candy. Like it definitely smells like a coconut product more than actual like fresh coconut or whatever. I probably would rank them in order from favorite to least: rose, vanilla, and then coconut of the three that I tried. But it's not like I dislike it. It's not gonna keep me from wearing it. I wish I'd gotten this in the rose scent because that's the one that I like the best. The thing that has shocked me the most is that the formulas, all of them, are really lovely. And in a way that I think I wasn't expecting and wouldn't have predicted, which is that they're thin. Like the bullets are hard. And so when it becomes emollient, when you are applying it, you only get a little bit at a time. So you can keep applying and applying and applying, even with the matte formula and the satin formula, but definitely with the sheer, you can keep applying and applying and applying, and you're not gonna get gooped up stuff on your lips. Like they don't become goopy and become mucky. I feel like so many lipsticks these days in this internet beauty world where we're like obsessed with pigment and we're like, we want the pigment to be there. Oh, honey, give me the pigment. Like you want to swipe it and it's like, that's just one swipe. The pigment's blowing me out of the water. And that's fine, but full pigment and like a really gooey, thick, yummy, yucky thing isn't always great for lipstick. Like it's not always the easiest to wear. It can be really hard with these vampier colors to like keep it inside the lines of your lips and not get out of control. And I am really leaning towards loving shades that have that kind of pigment, that level of pigment where you can layer and layer and layer. That's why I love the Bobbi Brown crushed lip color so much. And I would say that the satin formula from Finding Ferdinand is very much like the Bobbi Brown crushed lip color. And the sheer formula is more like the Gucci Voile, if not a little bit sheerer, like a little bit more like a tinted chapstick, like a little bit easier even to wear. They really designed these formulas to be easy for people to wear. So final verdict, I absolutely love this for me. I'm really excited that I saw Ted doing this and decided to do this review because I feel like for me, it was very successful in terms of getting a color balance that I didn't have before. Now, I ordered these specifically for review and I did it because I have a YouTube channel. And if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I am as sure as I can be that I would have clicked through when I saw Ted do it and be like, wow, that's cool. But I don't need to do that because I can just mix the lipsticks that I have with each other and mix them with, you know, pencils and blend and get the colors that I want. And I can just, you know, mix lipstick with lip gloss to get something to be slightly more sheer. That's what I have been doing. That's what I will continue to do. And that's what I would have continued to do. So I hope that nobody sees this and is like, I definitely need to go buy 5 lipsticks from Finding Ferdinand right now because I too can't find the colors that I want, unless it's 100% in your budget and you know that it's not going to, you know, be an unwise purchase for you. I just always want to make sure that I give that caveat when I give a really enthusiastic review like this. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting it to be as enthusiastic as it was. I was expecting to be like, I had no idea what I was doing with color. I was really wrong about color. And it turns out that when a lipstick looks so light that I think that that's what I want, it turns out it doesn't look good. That only ended up being true with 1 out of the 4. And you know, these two, which both I feel like ended up, this is Sooty Peony and Baby Bella, they both ended up looking in the bullet like a little bit shockingly light to me, but they both ended up applying really beautifully. So I wasn't expecting for it to be so successful. And I know that I was really enthusiastic as I was reviewing them. And I just want to say a little word here for those of you who, like me, are prone to take that information and get overexcited and go buy a bunch of things. Just give yourself a day, take a deep breath. Maybe you just want to try one. And maybe you don't need to try this at all. Maybe you can just mix your own with the lipsticks that you have. So that is it. What an incredibly successful experiment. I am surprised that Finding Ferdinand isn't getting more attention on social media. And maybe they are, and I'm just not paying attention because I'm not very good at like checking Instagram. I don't know, like maybe I'm the last to the party or something. I'm sure that you guys will let me know in the comments if I am. So what I will do is below, obviously I'll link the website and I'll also link the like color number, you know, like when you're dragging a little dot around on like a color scale, color wheel, each little spot has its set of letters and numbers that you can use to find the exact one again. So I know what the code is for each one of these 4 colors that I came up with. I'll put those down below just so you know, just on the off chance that someone's watching this and what you want is like you want Sooty Peony. Like if you want to order Sooty Peony, my color from Finding Ferdinand, then you'll be able to use my little code and find it. But you know, you can name it whatever you want. You can name it Sooty Peony if you want. You totally can. And I would love to know in the comments if there's like that elusive color for any of you. Like, are you out there and you're like, I've always just wanted to find a green, like a really dark forest green that doesn't have any blue in it and it's sheer, or like, you know, or like a matte, super bright red that doesn't have any orange in it, that leans pink. You know what I mean? Is there something that's sort of like your white whale of lipstick where if you were gonna do a thing like this, then that would be the thing that you would be trying to create? Let me know, because I feel like that was without a doubt the most interesting part of this. Just like thinking about the balance of color and shade and tone and what usually comes out in ranges of lipstick and what it is that I'm always looking for, and trying to come up with colors, combinations of color and formula that wouldn't feel redundant to me, you know, because I didn't want to be like, I'm going to make my perfect lipstick and then have it show up and just be Maybelline Gone Greige, and then swatch them and it's like, oh, they're the same. You know, like I was really trying to avoid that. And I had all my lipsticks out when I was creating the colors because I really, really wanted to avoid that. And I feel like I did avoid that, and that was really interesting. Okay, that's it. I feel like I need to go and stop blathering on about color. Huge thanks to Ted, Buffalo Beauty Boy. I would totally not have ever done this or heard of this brand if I hadn't watched that Get Ready With Me. And of course, I'll link Buffalo Beauty Boy down below. You should definitely go follow Ted and watch his YouTube videos. And thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. As always, I hope you're remembering to take extra good care of yourself, because that's what'll make you the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.